There is a subtle but powerful shift that happens the moment you start believing things always work out for you. It's not about ignoring setbacks or pretending pain doesn't exist. It's about facing life with the unwavering trust that somehow everything aligns for your growth and benefit. When you act as if everything will ultimately fall into place, you carry yourself differently. You breathe easier, speak more confidently, and make decisions with clarity. This mindset becomes a magnetic force, drawing opportunities, support, and solutions you might have otherwise overlooked. It's not delusion, it's deliberate intention. The universe responds in kind to the energy you put out. When you assume goodness is around the corner, you'll find it in places you never expected. This is more than positive thinking. It's spiritual strategy. You stop reacting to chaos and start responding with calm assurance. Acting this way trains your nervous system to trust, and from that trust, incredible resilience and creativity emerge. Every moment presents a choice, fear or faith. Most people choose fear, often unconsciously, because it's been rehearsed and reinforced for years. But when you act as if life is rigged in your favor, you're practicing faith. You're rehearsing the idea that even when things seem off track, something better is being constructed behind the scenes. You start interpreting delays as divine timing. You begin seeing detours as scenic routes rather than obstacles. It's a bold way to live, choosing to see the invisible threads of meaning in life's unpredictability. You develop a strong inner anchor that says, "This too is working out for me." Even if I don't yet see how, your energy becomes lighter, your heart opens up. Your actions are no longer based on desperation but on alignment. This changes how people respond to you and what life mirrors back. You start walking through your days as if goodness is your birthright, and in doing so it becomes your experience. The people who seem the most lucky in life are often those who've decided to expect favorable outcomes. They don't hope things go well, they assume they will. And when life throws them a curveball, they don't spiral, they adapt. Because their foundation isn't built on what happens to them, but how they choose to perceive and respond. This mindset can be cultivated. It begins with noticing your language. Are you constantly bracing for disappointment, or are you welcoming success? Are your thoughts dominated by what could go wrong, or what could go beautifully right? Acting as if everything works out isn't about denial, it's about deep choice. You decide to frame your life through a lens of possibility. You give yourself permission to expect ease, peace, and fulfillment. And once you've committed to this perspective, life often meets you halfway. It's not magic, it's mindset. What you expect influences what you attract, what you allow, and how you move. And how you move determines how your life unfolds. Living this way requires awareness. You start to become the guardian of your energy. You realize that every complaint, every doubt, every anxious projection is planting a seed. And so you become intentional about the thoughts you water. You notice when you're about to say, "This probably won't work," and instead you say, "This could go better than expected." You shift your inner dialogue from dread to curiosity, from doubt to optimism. Acting as if it will all work out doesn't mean you never feel afraid. It means you don't let fear drive the car. You acknowledge it, but you don't let it decide your direction. You keep choosing trust again and again until it becomes your default. You'll notice how the shift starts attracting supportive people, aligned opportunities, and serendipitous moments. Not because life suddenly becomes easier, but because your lens changes what you see. What was once stressful becomes a stepping stone. What was once a failure becomes a redirection toward better. The more you embody this energy, the more magnetic you become. People are drawn to those who radiate certainty. Not arrogance, but a calm knowing that everything is unfolding with purpose. When you act as if life is always working out, your nervous system relaxes. You stop over-explaining, stop apologizing for your desires, stop seeking validation outside yourself. Instead, you begin trusting your instincts, following intuitive nudges, and standing tall in your truth. This grounded confidence isn't loud, it's steady. It says, I don't need all the answers right now. I just need to trust that they will come. You start showing up differently. Your energy says, I expect to be supported. I expect to be guided. I expect to succeed. And those expectations shape reality in surprising ways. Even when things appear uncertain, your belief acts as a stabilizer. You become someone who others look to for strength, not because you never struggle, but because you've chosen to believe in a bigger, kinder picture. Start practicing this every day in small ways. Before you send a message, think, this will be well received. Before a meeting, affirm, this will go better than I imagine. When you're unsure of your next step, say, clarity is on its way. These little shifts accumulate into a powerful mindset. You'll notice how you no longer spiral when things go sideways. Instead, you take a breath and say, there's something here for me. I'm being rerouted towards something even better. Acting as if things always work out doesn't mean you never feel disappointment. It means you don't linger in it. You let the emotion move through you and return to your center. Over time, this becomes your new normal. You're no longer bracing for disaster, you're building a relationship with trust. And from that trust, you act differently, dream bigger, and stay open. Life doesn't have to feel like a battle. It can feel like a dance, one where even missteps lead to more grace. Let's be honest, some days this mindset feels easier than others. When the evidence around you looks bleak, it's tempting to slide back into worry or resistance. But that's when the practice matters most. Acting as if life is working for you in those moments becomes your spiritual workout. You remind yourself, this too has purpose. Even when the outcome is unclear, even when you feel doubt nipping at your heels, you come back to the truth that life has not failed you yet. You've survived every hard thing. You've grown in ways you never predicted. Why wouldn't that continue? Why wouldn't life surprise you again with goodness, with peace, with unexpected blessings? When you act as if everything is unfolding in divine timing, you give yourself the gift of peace now, instead of waiting for circumstances to change. That peace becomes your power. It lifts you, strengthens you, and attracts what you've been seeking. Not because of force, but because of faith. Your brain is wired to protect you, not necessarily to make you happy. That's why it leans toward worst-case scenarios and anticipates threats. But you can retrain your mind. You can teach it to expect the best, to look for the lesson, to lean into possibility. Acting as if life always works out is the way you do that. You take back your narrative and rewrite it in real time. No longer the victim, you become the author of your life's story. And the story you're telling now is one of trust. You start saying, everything is always working out for me. Even when I don't yet understand how, these words become your compass. You say them when you're uncertain, when you're scared, when you're waiting. And soon they aren't just words, they're your truth. Life begins reflecting that belief back to you. What you once feared, you now face with ease. What once felt impossible begins to unfold step by step, all because you chose to believe in the unfolding. Acting as if life works out for you also changes your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who has to struggle, who has to earn their worth through hardship. Instead, you embody the truth that you are worthy of ease, love, and success, simply because you exist. This shift is radical. It frees you. You stop trying to prove your value and start expressing it naturally. Your energy no longer says, "Am I good enough?" It says, "I'm already enough." And that energy is incredibly attractive. It draws in new levels of abundance, connection, and fulfillment. You become a match for the very things you used to chase. And the beauty is, you no longer need to chase. You act from a place of sufficiency, not scarcity. You believe good things are on their way, and so you create space to receive them. This kind of faith doesn't make you passive. It makes you powerful. You become a co-creator with life, not a victim of it. The external world may not change overnight, but your internal world does, and that's where all real change begins. When you walk through the world with the conviction that life is always supporting you, you notice different things. You see opportunities others miss. You respond with patience while others react with panic. You forgive faster because you know nothing is wasted. Even the pain has purpose. This isn't naive optimism, it's wise resilience. You are choosing to be unshakable in your peace, choosing to show up in your life with curiosity instead of criticism. You no longer ask, "Why is this happening to me?" but instead, "What is this making possible?" That question shifts everything. It gives you power where you once felt powerless. It brings meaning to your journey. And from that place of empowered faith, you begin making decisions that reflect your new belief. You stop settling, you start honoring yourself, you become someone who acts like their life is guided, because it is. Keep acting as if you are safe to dream, safe to fail, safe to start again, safe to rise. There's a quiet revolution that happens when you stop second-guessing everything and start trusting yourself. You begin moving through the world with grace. You become less reactive to negativity and more devoted to alignment. And that alignment becomes your source of clarity. You make decisions not from fear of what could go wrong, but from love for what could go right. That shift is everything. It's how lives change, relationships heal, careers evolve. Acting as if things always work out doesn't make you immune to pain, but it does make you immune to hopelessness. You may bend, but you won't break. You may stumble, but you won't lose your way. Because deep down, you carry the belief that every step is guided, that something bigger is holding you. That life is ultimately conspiring in your favor. That belief is your superpower. Keep leaning into it. Keep acting from it. So keep walking with trust in your heart, your head held high, and the unshakable knowing that life is always working out for you. Even now, even here, especially when you least expect it.